everybody. First of all, I want to apologize for the nauseating video from yesterday.
Thumbs down, Dan. Thumbs down.
I'm sure there's going to be some thumbs down action going on there, but I did give you a warning. I wore my head mounted. I mean, this is okay when you're like out mountain biking or whatever, you know, but this is a whole lot of movement. But unfortunately, a lot of the video I got is from this. You know, it is what it is. I will limit the use of this to when it's necessary, and I'll limit my head movement when I wear this. But that was the video we had, so I don't really have anything to use instead of it. But I will show you what we've done. So these are the inside of the bolts that came in, and there's basically a channel, aluminum channel, that have these holes pre-drilled from the factory. I had to punch them out, and you put the bolts through, and you put a washer, a lock washer, and then a nut. And there's 11 on each side. So that's what's fastening down the roof tracks, and they're insulated and protected by a strip of sticky, one-sided self-sticking foam underneath. So that's there, that's secured, and we took off all the headliner. Look at this entire headliner action here. All this is gone. I broke about 20 of these clips. I'll show you what these clips look like. They're just plastic and they pop out like this, but if you don't pop them out right, they break. Turns out these things aren't that cheap. These are like, from what I can tell, about $1 a piece, which, you know, by breaking them I just wasted like 20 bucks. That's if I want to put the headliner back in. So we're having some second thoughts about putting the headliner back in. We haven't decided if we will for sure do that or if we won't, or maybe at least just put parts of it back. I keep going back and forth. Until we get to that section, we probably will still weigh the pros and cons of that. The way that the headliner was set up, it was like one was overlapping another. So this front one was overlapping the second one overlapping the third one. So as we were starting to take off this one, I'm like, well, I have to take the front one off to get to the second one. So we took that off. But then I thought and saw some videos that if I would have started from the back, from the back over here, I may have been able to come forward and then stop right there. But I think now that we've got it off, we will just kind of insulate this space, which will be nice. Today's job, I'm not sure exactly how far we'll get. If we go back to this list that we have on the wall, we're going to remove the wall panels, which are just they're just two lower panels. No, two lower panels in the back. And then there are these door panels. We'll take those off too. And we might cut a hole today for the fan. It's a fantastic fan model 3350. We want to get another one, but we don't have it yet. So at the very least, we're going to install one right now. We just got to decide if it's going to go forward or backwards.
We need to lay out the roof. We're going to draw or put blue tape on the sidewalk representing the roof, and then bring out the panels. Put the panels, open this up, put the fan on the placement.
Yeah, or just the solar panels came in a cardboard box, and then it had these rectangular cardboard pieces that protected the glass. Right. We could just use that as a template.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll figure out the exact layout. Because what we want to put on the roof, we want to put 2 crossbars on the tracks that we installed yesterday. We want to put 2 fans, and we want to put both of our solar panels that we got, which are 175 watts each, and they're pretty big. And we want to be able to leave enough room so that we can put surfboards on it at some point without covering the solar panels.
Or the vents.
That's going to be the tricky part, getting to do all that without covering things up. Assuming we get that done, we're not going to get to the windows because we don't have windows to put in yet. But we can insulate. I definitely think we can start insulating without putting the other vent and the windows in, because as long as we don't put the wall panels up, we can just cut through the insulation.
There's so much more we can do.
This
part, that part.
Yeah, we can cover all the cavities that we're not going to cut.
Yeah.
And just leave the ones that we are going to cut either open or just cover them up, and just cut them out
We
later.
should probably start with the super front part of the van, so
We'll
we can
start in
put
the
the
front.
headliner back on.
Okay.
Because it looks very...
And that way, if we needed to drive it, we can drive it. Because right now, the way that it's taken apart, like the B pillar is where the seat belts need to clip into, and that's not set up right. All right, that's a good game plan for day 2. But those lower side panels came off very easily. They're basically held on in the top by a self-tapping screw with a Torx head and a little piece of plastic that holds it in place on the top, and there's, I don't know, 3 or 4 across the top. What's nice about this is that you can also use it to hold the upper piece, the lower part of the upper piece. So we'll figure out how to put the upper piece, we're gonna have to make our own piece on, and we'll hold on to these. And the bottoms are held on by these clips, which is a 2-part clip. The bottom part looks like this, right? So it's got a hole in the top, and it kind of has these little ridges, holds it in place. So you push that in first, and then there's a plug. Once you get it pushed in, the plug pops in and then keeps the inside expanded, kind of like a rivet. So like a little plastic rivet. You just pull the inside out, and then the bottom comes out. And I use this plastic pry bar that came from the Harbor Freight kit to do that. So now the bottom's out, we'll figure out how to take off the panel on the sliding door, the panel on this side of the seat. Alright, so I managed to pry off one of the padded side panels without damaging any of the clips. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $17 worth of clips saved. So that's this. We'll be able to insulate that. I'm going to pry off the panel on the door now using this tool, plastic pry bar. What we did this afternoon is this sound deadening mats came in today. On a Sunday they delivered, so we were able to, once we took all the panels off, we were able to lay out all of the sound. We got 50 square feet of it.
Yeah, 47 pieces.
There's 47 pieces, about this big, so each one of these is a little over a square feet. We put up 40 pieces. Some of them already have factory ones that are painted. You can't really see, but there's some here. But we added some more all the way across. Behind all the panels that we took off, there weren't as much sound deadening, so we put that there, and we covered all of the wheel well, which we have been told that this is a major source of road noise. So now that sound has really been deadened, so that's good. And I think now we're ready to put maybe the last part of our job today, which we're hoping to probably insulate the space above the cab. We got some Reflectix, so we're going to use some foam.
Yeah, we got 2 different foam boards, so we'll see.
Yeah, we got some EPS foam, 1/2-inch EPS foam. We also got some 1-inch polyiso foam. The 1-inch polyiso foam is what we'll probably put in like these deeper cavities. because this will probably take up to 1 inch of foam.
Okay.
And then the thinner stuff maybe will go here and here. Up there in the cab, we'll probably do the 1/2 inch EPS foam.
Okay.
We've considered other insulation, wool, definitely not fiberglass, because that's, you know, in a small space like this, you're gonna live in it, it's not a great idea. We didn't want to do, a lot of people do the 3M Finsulate, but it's really expensive. To insulate a Sprinter 170 says it will take 60 linear feet.
Got it.
60 linear feet, and I don't know how tall it was. Maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. So,
Yeah.
you know, it takes a lot. And it was like going to be $700-800 for that Finsulate stuff. And they don't. It doesn't really have that good of R value. So, the positive sides are low toxicity and fire retardant and a few other things, lightweight. But I think we're going to just go with the Reflectix against the metal, and then foam on top of the Reflectix.
Yeah.
And then we'll fill the gaps with spray foam.
Yeah.
Seems like that's what a lot of people are doing, and a lot of people are pretty happy with it. And there's some complaints about being squeaky, so I think we'll fix that. We got a tip from a few people to say, to get rid of the squeakiness, that's things rubbing against each other, just put some butyl tape in between. So that's what we're going to do. Before we put the wall paneling up that's resting against the foam pads, we'll just put some pieces of butyl tape against it. Then we should be good. I hope.
It sounds like we're going to try.
It's the fast and budget way. So, you know, we're trying to stay within the budget and trying to do it within a certain period of time.
We're gonna get on the road again. We can't stand still.
Yeah, we can't sit
us.
around and wait. And we got to go get the stuff that's available. So
Yeah.
this stuff actually came really quick. You know, we didn't buy the expensive brand name stuff that people get. This is Kilmat. You know, all this stuff is basically the same material that's in butyl tape with like a aluminum backing or some kind of mylar backing. And that sticks on there real good. You just roll it. They want you to use this roller that pushes it down. We just used a glass jar. Glass jar does the trick too. You just want to press it up against it, and it sticks to the wall. So I think it's gonna work. So yeah, let's start cutting some pieces of Reflectix and foam for that cab area, and then we'll try to fit the headliner back in.
It's gonna be like a blooper reel for that. For us putting
We'll
on
see
that.
how this goes. So I'm just gonna kind of ballpark measure how wide this is. This is 54 inches, I think. 54 inches, and then we need to cut a piece that's 54 by 54 by, let's say 38. 54 by 38. That'll fill up this middle, but then like we're gonna want like a little wing part that's like another 12 inches on each side, and then we'll tuck it in here. 78 is 6 foot 6 inches, so we'll have to cut a 6 foot 6 inch piece out of this. Okay.
What do you need, buddy?
I need to go to the bathroom. Can you come with me?
You can't go by yourself?
Can't.
What will happen?
Monsters will get me.
Monsters.
We gotta cut 10 inches off the short end to make it 38, because this is 48 inch wide. As long as you follow the bubbles, it's pretty easy to cut straight with this Reflectix stuff. We use this stuff for ages, and mostly we use them to put in windows. It's a good blackout material, and it's a decent insulator. Where you have a window, you put it right up against the window. People say that you need an air gap. It's probably true, but we've had this stuff right up against the window, and with little to no air gap, And it still insulates really well. So this stuff, I don't know how much we've bought, how much Reflectix we've bought over the years, but probably a dozen rolls of this stuff. But we never used it directly as insulation inside the wall. So that's the dry fit. We cut a pretty good piece of Reflectix. It actually wedges up there all by itself, but I will take it off, spray adhesive behind it, and then stick it back on. And then after we do that, we'll cut strips of foam and then stick that onto the back of the Reflectix to further insulate that. And then we'll be able to put the headliner back on. You can see I cut around this sort of electric junction box terminal thing so that nothing shorts out in case the electricity conducts through the Reflectix. And this is all kind of tucked in here, tucked in there. So yeah, I think it's going to be a real good insulator. So I got the 3M adhesive sprayed all through here. I got some spray down here. It's feeling a little sticky. I'm gonna stick it on now. Well, that is stuck to it. Huh? I need to spray the wings over here a little bit. Glue that part down. Okay, so I'm just taking some foil tape, which we have a roll of here, and I'm just taping down the edges. Wherever there's an edge I can see, I just tape it down. That way it prevents it from lifting up for any reason, whatever reason. Alright, so we puzzle piece this cab insulation together, and now it's the last piece. We've just been cutting this EPS foam 1/2 inch, spraying this 3M glue on there. These pieces are easy. These are just 48 inch by whatever, and all the way down. Wedge them in, put the foil tape on, and then now the corners, you know, because of these compound curves, you have to cut. You can't just do one piece. So this is probably the most complicated part to insulate. Everything else would be more or less flat sheets. So last piece going in here. Stick. The trick is to let it get tacky before you stick it on. And also, if you have the opportunity to spray on both sides, both on the foam and on the side that you're sticking to, let them both get tacky and then they'll stick together. Better. That was a decent amount of work to get that insulated and then get the headliner put back together. But for now, we're gonna figure out how to deal with the seatbelt adjuster thing. There's some springs that probably popped out, so until we figure that out, we're just gonna leave it. I will call it a day. But thank you guys for watching. It was a long day. We got a lot done. We got the deadening mats stuck on. We took all the panels off. We insulated the cab, the roof over the cab. Then we got the headliner back in the front. And tomorrow, I guess we didn't get to putting the fan in.
No.
Which I think putting the fan in is gonna probably take us the whole day to
We didn't lay out the
figuring
roof.
things out. We didn't lay out the roof either, but we'll do that. That was day 2. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys are enjoying this build. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you are, please do not unsubscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. We removed the wall panels. We didn't do the fans. We did the cab of the insulation.
We didn't add sound deadening, so
Oh yeah, we had sound deadening.
I'm gonna add it so then it looks.
Looks like we did more.
Well, what order we did it in?
Okay. And 4H. Remove walls, add sound deadening, insulate cab, reinsert headliner and cab.
That's what we did.
Good job.
Hit me in my face.